you've had a really busy year. You've had a tour within this moment, and you've got tours coming up, and you're coming to the UK really, really soon, which I'm really excited about. And you've got your debut album in like 3 weeks' time, which is
Hmm.
crazy. I'm going to talk about your album, your singles. Like, you've already released some singles. Living Dead is currently my favorite, but I'd love to know
Oh,
about your writing process and the themes behind the album.
oh my gosh.
A
Yes.
really big
Uh,
question.
Do you
Mm.
want to?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll go first. So, I mean, there's no specific like formula that we have when it comes to writing. A lot of the times concepts can be kind of just like a shared thought that goes through a text message or on a shared note. We have a lot of those open at any given time. And there's some concepts we've wanted to touch on for a while. And then it takes months to come to fruition, if not even some of them even years when it comes to things like Button Eyes. Um, but there's not like a specific formula for it. However, what we do tend to focus on, the consistency there is that we 100% like to write about themes that are outside of just kind of like the three-dimensional superficial meaning of a song. We like to make sure that there's multiple dimensions to kind of be able to tap into, and we like to handle bigger concepts. And so that's why you'll kind of see a lot of these like quantum trends within a lot of our music.
yeah, we feel like, uh there's a lot of the feminine energy that kind of hasn't really been integrated into a lot of culture in the way that, that's raw about it. That's like honest and real about like just, what it's like to really be a female. And we don't hold back, and a lot of our music just reflects from just a broad spectrum of like all those themes and emotions.
Yeah, I mean, you already brought up Button Eyes because that's like one of my favorite visuals. Are you kind of thinking
Yeah.
about your visuals and the music videos while you're writing?
Oh, yeah. I feel like because Julia comes from this theatrical world, especially like
Mm.
everything with us, it's like we don't just sit down for a song. Like we see a whole landscape with it. We see like a whole world we're building, and like, like from the fashion to, the set that we want to like bring life. So you really get pulled into like this space artistically that we're trying to um energetically have someone feel when they listen. And that's kind of hard within a commercial box sometimes. So, but we find our ways. And I think especially in this next era, you're going to see a lot more of that world building come to life.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I love it.
Mhm.
You both like sing and scream. I'd love to know how you divide that up, and yeah, how do you do that?
Well,
Mm.
That's a funny question because actually so Jill taught me how to scream
Okay.
um in the studio actually, and the first time I'm really truly screaming on a song was for Sleepwalker. So now when I
Mhm.
go back and listen to Sleepwalker, I'm like, "Oh my God, I could have done so much better now." But it was kind of interesting, and now I think between the two of us, like when it comes to harsh vocals, a lot of times it sounds kind of similar, but the way to kind of tell it like a cheat almost is that like I tend to scream a lot of the lower parts, and Jill's a lot more of those cool,
Mhm.
high, like gritty parts of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I feel like so much of like the artistic messaging is that duality of like, women holding this rage, but also this like sweetness at the same time. And so we're like, the
Mm.
music definitely had to have both parts. And we're like, people are like, it's really hard to do like melodic cleans, like, and we're like, fuck it, we'll figure it out. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I love that. And I can tell the difference between like who's singing and who's screaming, which I'm glad I figured it out.
Oh
No.
yeah, especially like the new music we're working on too. It's like it gets even more clear,
Oh,
clearly.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
This is good to know. And like
Yeah.
visually wise, you talk like fashion as well. Does that kind of all coincide with the visuals? You're thinking about what you're wearing for everything and like the femininity you're bringing to like the raw energy of the music.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because we are about to dive like I'm like saying like this over here. We're going to dive so much deeper into kind of the fashion elements because art for us goes much deeper than just music. Like we
Mm.
have like Jill's kind of talked about this whole like ethos and world that we're building, and a lot of that comes through creative decisions like videos and fashion and even hair and makeup and what time period sometimes you're starting to kind of channel in, whether they're Baroque elements in songs or some more classical elements mixed with new metal, which is kind of a funny
Mm.
juxtaposition. And
Um,
like even like, like the gymnastics tricking stuff that I do, like
Mm.
that's art. Like people don't understand, like I can't go to the gym and not have to like I don't go to the gym normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finding a cool way that like really takes these authentic elements that Joy and I both have and like creating that bigger message together
Mm.
um, is something you're definitely going to see with this album. And
Mhm.
we're just like, and the live shows, like we're just really, really excited for it all to come together and to have that message hit right.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I love what I've seen so far, and I'd love to kind of know what inspires you. So you've kind of made this world. Do you dive into those sorts of themes? Like, do you read a lot of like fantasy things and dive into those things? I'd love to know what you do for that.
Oh yeah, Joy.
yeah. I mean, I come from a realm of like I also not many people can say, I guess, in like 2025 that they're like a playwright, but I'm also a playwright.
Mm.
So you know, a
I
lot of
work
my
in a
free
theatre,
time.
so I hear that word daily,
Oh,
so I
oh
love
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Oh,
I love that. I feel like it's almost like semi like a dying craft, which is kind of a
Mm.
shame with all these different digital mediums, you know, I guess different expansions of art and
Mm.
playwriting in general. But um, when it comes to like free time, yeah, if I'm reading something, it's either other play scripts. Like in the room right now, I probably have at least seven. But I tend to read more Gothic literature. So
Mm.
if it was published in the last 100 years, I'm probably not reading it. But I mean, I mean that you know. But I have like a Stephen King play
Hmm.
script on my other desk over here. So not to say I won't touch modern stuff, but a lot of our stuff is rooted in things a bit older.
yeah, and for me, I mean, I am more your contemporary fantasy queen.
Hmm.
That's so
Like
true.
I relate a lot, to all the book talk girlies and stuff.
Hmm.
And it's cool because like I feel like with a lot of what we do, Julie and I we're able to bring timelessness and contemporary
Mm.
together into something that like, like I keep saying, especially in this next like live show format that I think is gonna make a lot of sense.
Mm. Okay, I'll wait till February when you get over here, and then I'll see.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Cool. So when it comes to, so you've already brought up that you do tricks on stage as well. It's just you, isn't it? It's not both of you, Jules, as well.
There's I keep going back to the live show that's coming up. There's it interweaves in the storytelling of
Hmm.
the atmosphere of what we're doing. So yeah, even though Julia's like, that's not her passion.
Mm.
Um, it we just find ways where like there's movement she can do that are complementary of what I'm doing.
Mm.
And I think like,
Yeah. It's like
yeah,
you say, it's theatre, it's art, it's about telling that story.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
tend to, it's funny, I tend to be more of like a little groundling when it comes to a lot of our live shows. So I prefer to kind of lean into more unsettling, almost like kind of
Feral,
spider-like
feral.
movements.
Nice. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
gothic. Yeah.
Um, yeah. And like, yeah, like Jill said, a lot of them are complementary to like her inversions and things like that. So,
Mhm.
but I'm also much more likely out of the two of us to be wearing the more extreme costume or
Hmm.
something that maybe has limitations, but also you know, like Jill has a passion for certain kinds of like advanced movement where
Mm.
um, I kind of have you know multiple a wider fanning, I guess, of interests. So she definitely, it's incredible to watch her. I just sometimes have to watch out that I'm not in the way for
Yeah,
my
you
own
don't want that.
safety.
That's the hard part
Yeah,
right now is like we're kind of starting to block some more of that stuff. And I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna take a
yeah,
chorus there. Like,
right.
No, that makes sense. Cool. So on live shows, you just had a massive like in this moment tour. How did that go?
Yeah, it was
oh,
fun.
cool. I feel like, coming in being around Maria, like she really is, in the same line of female,
Mm.
and it's cool to be like have that as their first real tour because it's
Mm.
like the energy of that just was great. Like it set off in Wargasm, we just clicked with like we were just having a great time, and Kat and Sammy are so sweet too.
Mm.
Like it was a really solid tour. And for it to being our first one, like definitely was and seeing the actual fans like like we're used to just doing internet stuff,
Mm.
so like you don't expect anything, and then to see like no, people were already like connecting so hard, like it's still something I'm like processing and digesting because it's incredible and it's like I just didn't think the support is unreal.
Hmm.
That's so lovely. So, because it was your first tour, have you learned what you kind of need to bring with you? Do you have any must-haves that you're now going to learn from that tour and bring to the next one?
Sage.
Yeah, I mean, it's every city and every stop you go to is so different, and from just
Mm.
like from basic like like your corporeal needs to what you mentally have to like get ready to do, and just like and it's funny because Jill and I actively choose to spend a lot of time in the audience and meeting as many people as we possibly can. And some people kind of shy away from that, but for us,
Mm.
like when we're there, we're all in and we want to say hello to every single person. We want to take photos with every single person and be able to connect and have real like human to human moments. And so that's really important for us too.
And yeah, I think like you say, you've like I discovered you on TikTok before I got like interested you from a press perspective. And I think a lot of people have discovered you that way. So having that real
Hmm.
life interaction is different and it's like a learning curve of how people have discovered you on social media, but having
Yeah,
you in the face as well.
And it's so cool
100%.
realizing that, we can connect not like I personally love the internet because there's so many subcultures and you
Mm,
find people that actually think like you and it feels so like you feel seen,
mm,
and that was kind of like the whole point of the space that we were creating with our music is like, we don't really fit in any scene. We're just an amalgamation of a lot of different subcultures.
mm,
And so, like you do something a little bit more traditional with when it comes to like the live show touring stuff, and you're like, you don't know how that's going to really translate. And
Hmm.
then to see like, no, like people really are looking for that connection that the subcultures
mm,
hold in person, and like now it makes us want to put on such a like a more atmospheric show. Like it makes us want to level up so much more to like really bring that connection to life
mm.
into the live stage.
I did a deep dive on like your singles and what you've released in the last couple of years. You've developed a lot, like
Hmm.
musically. I would love to know
Whiplash.
how, like, did you start off with we're gonna make like more country-based music, which I'm a fan of. I love country music. And then you just went raw. You went metalcore
We did.
in a really short space of time.
I, you know,
Yeah.
I think it really does I come back to like, it felt like you were only allowed to be so many things as a
Mm,
woman, like straight up, and like just growing up, you're trying to find your place. Like we were doing really creepy country at first. Most people
mm,
don't know this. And it
Hmm.
kind of, we got ingested in the industry and then it got super watered down and like, you know, and at the end of the day, like we just started when we started working with Andrew, like we just started peeling back those layers
hmm,
song by song. And like that's kind of where it just emerged. Like it really came from like layer peeling. It was like the
mm,
conditioning, undoing the conditioning, and now I feel like you can tell, you can feel the comfortability in what we're doing and
mm,
how we're carrying ourselves. And you can't fake that process. It's just like, we're in a lot of role models for that personally that I found when I was younger. So that's why it's so fucking crazy.
I know, right?
No, it's a journey. It's a journey. You don't dive in like with your last genre or that sort of way. So I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, like it's whiplash for sure.
Yeah, it is. I was like, interesting. How?
Yeah.
What kind of music do you both listen to now?
Ooh, oh my gosh. Well, right now I'm super into hyper pop.
Mm,
I was into it because tricking culture is really hyper pop based.
hmm,
And then now I'm really back into it again. But like classical music's always kind of been this stabilizer. Like we always
Hmm.
go back to that. I mean, metal, of course, is in the mix right
hmm.
now. But for me personally, it's kind of hyper pop and classical music.
Okay, I'm a fan.
Y- Yeah, for me, like this is very similar to my literary interests. It's like
Mm,
very much if you were to come into my car or my house, like you're gonna hear either classical music. I recently started diving, like deep diving into violin, so
oh,
that's kind
lovely.
of capturing a lot of my interests. I also love a lot of just like ambient spa music where I
Mm,
can kind of gather my creative thoughts in a way that I'm not distracted. and like I love sound bathing.
Hmm.
So yeah, so sound baths. So like honestly, like those three, and then funny enough, like I'm a lot less of a pop girly, so like I'm much more into like heavy metal and metalcore. So that's kind of it's funny because Jill, like that's why our music almost has this fusion of metalcore meets like pop
Mm.
with these classical elements. We
Yeah.
both are like kind of pushing for these different components to all make it into the song because that's what's authentic to us.
Mm. It
So
works so well though.
it blindsides people
I don't
too.
know how. I'm like, I really don't. I'm like, it's just like thought vomit. But it,
Yeah. It's like not following rules and just doing whatever you want. And I think that's kind of like why it works too, is because we're not following like a specific pattern.
Mm.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting, I suppose, because it's just like, here, do you want to come over and listen to Bach or do you want to listen to Wage War with me? Never a dull moment.
No, I think that's what makes your music so unique. You've got all these different influences and you're making it work. And yeah, I think that's great. I think that's great.
Yeah.
thank you.
But it's your like first time in the UK in February you're coming, and
Hmm.
these tours like it's sold out. It upgraded like instantly. How do you feel
Hmm.
about that?
It like
It,
doesn't seem real. Like I'm confused
it,
personally.
and we found out when we were on a mini leg of a tour with Sleep Theory, who were,
Ah,
going to the
mm,
UK and Europe with. And so it was kind of surreal to like hear these things. Like you're getting ready for a show and like, oh, by the way, it sold out again. So here's another upgrade. And you're like, your mind's kind of like spinning. You're like, okay, let me go perform real quick, and then we can like talk
mm.
about this later because it's so mind boggling. It still is.
Yeah. No, there'll be
And
amazing shows though.
I've been dying to go to the UK. Like Julia knows this. So
Hmm.
I'm like, no, this is it. Like I've been wanting to go for so long.
I've been hyping y'all up over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so. I hope like we come out and it will be strong. Like I have no doubt. I'll be the London one. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And one more question for you.
Hmm.
Where do you foresee the Pretty Wild going? Like next year? Like this year's like been massive growth, debut album next year. What are you thinking?
Crank up the chaos, baby. We're going I think this year, believe it or not, we held back.
Hmm.
Did you?
We
Interesting.
in a lot of ways we did. And I think, you know, you hold back because you're not confident yet. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I think like when you have real confidence and you're like, let's commit to like these things, like I think you're gonna see a whole new level of execution with what we're doing.
Hmm.
And and I'm really excited. Julia, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we always tell people expect the unexpected. Like we are constantly just these like creative, like machines that just have these like outputs of like enthusiasm and energy and ideas, and like that never turns off for us. And so we're excited to really show everybody what's in our brains and how we can actually like make that come to life and illustrate that this whole world that we have like fallen in love with, and be able to portray that to everybody.
And honestly, really help inspire other, especially like females in general, of thinking differently can work. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Hmm.
And valuing their emotions and realizing their emotions are where they have a lot of power, a lot of creative power. That's really important for us and showing that and demonstrating that and making that a reality.
That's the perfect end to end the interview. I was going to ask about that, but you just like put it in a nice little spot for the end.
Yeah.
I read your
Yeah.
mind.
You did, you did. No, thank you so much.